Turtle Boy interviews Juror Ronnie, local bow tie enthusiast. I pull the hair out of my head, build the wall, abolish the jury system. You're probably still having an existential crisis, if not here, the takeaway moments. What the f is up with the taking of the notes? Can't use them. You gotta hand them in. Can't take them home. What's the fucking point? Can't share. What is this jury system? I can't believe we take 12 average ass motherfuckers from all walks of fucking life. As George Carlin says, think about your average guy and think about how stupid he is. Half the population is dumber than him. Average is not fucking good. Hi, do you guys have any French crullers? It's up to 12. Guess what? Go figure. It's not even.
You wanted to ask the judge, are we allowed to come to a decision on 2 of the charges and hang on the 3rd? And the foreman said, that's not going to happen. No.
We come to find out that they want you to be, don't fucking do this, don't do that. Be all precise, all by the book, all the day Miss Hyde was on Zoom, right? Juror walks in front of the camera, bye. When it comes to actually doing your job, the reason you're there, we don't know what we're supposed to do, but yeah, we can't ask. These people who seem to know what's going on, they tell us that, yeah, we can't. So what do you do it for then? Ronnie states he wanted to ask the judge. I don't care what anyone says. Ronnie's not fibbing. Ronnie's not flexing for the gram. Ronnie's not chasing the likes. Ronnie's not after the cameras, the lights, the glitz, the glamour, the action. At least not today, okay? Ronnie's telling the fucking truth. He said, can we clarify with the judge what we can do on this? Foreman said, Foreman, along with other opinionated individuals.
Acquittal, conviction. Yeah, so but you wanted to ask the judge, are we allowed to come to a decision on 2 of the charges and hang on the 3rd? And the foreman said, that's not going to happen. No.
And it wasn't necessarily just the foreman, but there was a bunch of other opinionated individuals also kind of saying that, no, I think we have to look at it as a whole as opposed to independent. But clearly the person who was in charge at the time was the foreman. So his word or their word was more pronounced.
To the untrained eye, Ronnie's just telling you what happened. Ronnie's just giving you the dirt. To me, I speak bow tie. I speak Ronnie. That was shade. If Ronnie's calling you an opinionated individual, you're a loudmouth know-it-all. And when Ronnie says the other opinionated individuals were saying, oh no, I don't think that. I think it just might be the one in the... That ain't what happened. He's being nice. He's being nice. Nothing against Ronnie. Ronnie was great. Ronnie was fabulous, him and his fucking bow ties, okay? Ronnie followed the rules. Ronnie gets out of the shower to pee. Ronnie's never late. Ronnie is very by the book, okay? Ronnie is a rule follower. Ronnie dated someone that liked to party when Ronnie just wanted to go home and eat, and we'll get to it. We'll get there. Another infuriating thing that happened was when they were discussing driving under the influence, vehicular manslaughter. Before I go in on the answers, which is not him, the jury trial, any jury, any system, black and white. Rules are black and white. Terms are black and white. Right? Life is not black and white. Trials are not black and white. Situations are nuanced. Especially this fucking situation is extremely nuanced. You can't say it is this way or that way. Pick. It's not like that. It's like trying to measure your height with a scale. It's just so fucking backwards. Interview depressed the fuck out of me because it reminded me of how backwards everything is. It's just, Jesus Christ. Karen was drinking, John was drinking. Karen and John were physically at the location in the vicinity of 34 Fairview. John was found deceased at 34 Fairview. Well, he says, everyone else was drinking, cops were drinking, this person was drinking. Well, those people weren't on trial.
Karen was there at that time, and John was there at the time, and it was believed that John died there, therefore, right, at that location, and therefore it seemed like, and everybody, all the witnesses were suggesting that he was never inside the house, and as a direct result, The assumption, or if you connected the dots based on the evidence that was provided to us, it seemed like there was some sort of collision with the car, and therefore there was damages to the vehicle. And with the damages to the vehicle, and that both individuals were there and present, that the cause must have been, or somehow, some sort of involvement by Miss Reed.
Okay.
Even though the rest of them were also drunk. I mean, everyone was drinking and driving that night, including the police, and that didn't bother anyone else.
I think it bothered everybody, but ultimately we have to look at who's being charged here, and the individual who's being charged was Karen. So unfortunately, nobody else was being charged with it. It was just Karen. So therefore, Karen must have been, and both people were there during that same time frame. So
Build the wall. Being very curious human beings that we are, the first thing you immediately go to is see what kind of person is this juror, right? You look at him and one thing pops in your head. Listen for about 5 minutes and another thing pops in your head. I don't know, okay? I don't know. Probably. I don't know. I don't think so. Usually people with monotone voices and very robotic voices, they can come across as feminine, so I don't know. Plus, not everyone has to be gay. Then again, the bow ties did lead me in the other. I don't know. Second, Matt McCabe. And of course he asked. Of course he fucking asked. My bow tie wearing friend Ronnie is so this or that, so black and white, so by the book. Hated this question. He hated it, didn't want to be asked it, didn't want to answer it, was like, I don't know, I was born here, don't ask me. Okay.
So, just random question. I have so many questions, obviously, but one question.
Wicked random question. I don't know, it's a question. It's just a question. I'm going to ask you questions. This is going to be one of those questions. It's a weird question.
Is you're obviously of Asian descent, and during the trial, there was one point where they were reading Matt McCabe's text messages out loud, and David Yannetti was cross-examining him, and he was reading them. And Matthew McCabe said something about like the Asian house. And I thought that was, I knew there was two Asian members of the jury. And I'm like, I wonder if they did that on purpose. Did that come across to you as at all offensive or anything like that? Him calling it the Asian house next door?
And this was the least stressful part of me watching this. And this is how I watched it right after that. This is how.
I think borderline kind of, I think it's borderline kind of offensive, but I don't think of it as offensive because I was born and raised here. So I think I looked at it as just somehow a descriptor, but I can see how some people would be offended by that kind of terminology.
Well, last but not least, the part where I have to ask you, Bowtie Ronnie, who hurt you? You wanted to go home and eat. You didn't want to stay out and party. Someone did that you dated. Someone did. Someone put an address in a GPS. What happened? Someone hurt you, Ronnie. Somebody hurt you. Human beings are human beings. They're going to make decisions on emotions. We can't blame them. You can try as hard as you want to be objective, to be an immediate... doesn't matter. The minute that emotional part starts... That's it. What
was the biggest thing that caused you to believe in her innocence or that there was reasonable doubt?
He was the one who kind of, and I'm not trying to put blame on him, but he ultimately was the one who was insistent to try to go back and go to this place. So 34 Fairview, he was the one who kind of programmed the GPS to that location. And she was the one who was asking to just go and have something to eat. Granted, it was a pizza place that was closed. She wasn't really looking to go drinking anymore. At least it seemed like it. He was and continued to party. So not trying to put blame on him, but it doesn't seem like she is at fault of whatever ultimately came about at 34 Fairview.